Every time you unlock your phone, there's a moment, a small pause you don't notice, where your mind enters a different state. Your breathing slows. Your attention narrows. Your awareness shifts. It feels like a reflex. But it's not. It's conditioning. And the platforms you use, the ones you scroll without thinking, are built on psychological triggers, designed to pull you deeper than you intended to go. This is part 1. The invisible hook, the first layer of social media addiction. Your brain is not addicted to the apps. It's addicted to the anticipation. The moment before the screen loads. That tiny slice of uncertainty is where the dopamine spike begins. Social media engineers know this. They don't want you satisfied. They want you almost satisfied. Likes that load a second later. Notifications that appear in small bursts. Videos that autoplay before you decide. This is a psychological tool called intermittent reinforcement. The same technique used in casinos to keep gamblers from leaving. When you scroll, your brain enters a reward cycle with no predictable pattern. And unpredictability is the strongest addiction trigger. The human brain knows. You think you're just checking updates, but your mind is chasing a reward that never fully arrives. Platforms don't fight for your time. They fight for your state of consciousness. A sudden sound, a vibrating alert, a flashing badge. These interruptions aren't random. They are engineered to disrupt your current focus and replace it with a new one. This is called attentional hijacking. The moment you react to a notification, your brain drops whatever it was doing and shifts into reactive mode, a state where you are more impulsive, more emotional, and significantly easier to manipulate. It's not that you decide to check your phone. Your brain gets pulled into a loop before you even register the desire. And every time it happens, the mental doorway becomes easier to open. Humans evolved to crave belonging, approval, recognition, connection. Social media weaponizes this instinct with what psychologists call social currency. Every like, every comment, every share becomes a micro-judgment of your value in the digital world. Most people never notice the shift. You don't post to express. You post to be validated. You don't scroll to relax. You scroll to compare. You don't receive feedback. You receive a score. This is the social reward mirror. A digital reflection engineered to make you evaluate yourself constantly. Platforms know this. They design engagement around your deepest emotional vulnerabilities. Because when you feel uncertain about yourself, you don't leave. You scroll more. The invisible hook is only the beginning. The next layer goes deeper into how platforms shape your thoughts, your habits, and even your identity. If part 1 revealed the invisible hook, the moment your mind enters the loop, part 2 takes you deeper into the structure beneath the screen, the part you never see, but always obey. Social media is not built like a website. It's built like a psychological maze. Every color, every sound, every scroll, every delay, every animation exists for one reason: to shape your behavior without your awareness. This is how platforms rewire your brain. Scrolling is not an accident. It is a design extracted from neurological research on habit formation and compulsion. In the physical world, your brain expects effort. Walking, reaching, searching, deciding. But the infinite scroll removes friction. With one gesture, a single flick of your thumb, you access limitless content. Your brain can't track the end, because there is no end. This creates a psychological phenomenon called the endless reward horizon. Instead of closing the app, your mind thinks, just one more. Just one more video. One more post. One more hit of stimulation. Every scroll is a micro-reward. Small enough to feel harmless. Powerful enough to keep you trapped. The platform is not feeding you content. You are feeding the system your attention. You may think you use social media. But social media also uses you. To build a digital identity that influences your real one. You post. You receive feedback. Your brain adjusts your behavior. You post again based on what worked. This creates an internal transformation. You stop expressing who you are. You start expressing who gains the most attention. This is psychological conditioning. Behavioral shaping. A loop that slowly rewrites personality. By rewarding the qualities the algorithm prefers. If it rewards humor, you become funnier. If it rewards outrage, you become angrier. If it rewards beauty, you become hypercritical of your image. If it rewards pain, you become addicted to sympathy. Identity becomes a performance. And the performance becomes your reality. Most people believe they choose what they see. They don't. The algorithm observes your micro-behaviors. How long you hover. What makes you pause. What you replay. What triggers your emotion. What you watch even when you hate it. These signals create a digital reflection of you. Not who you think you are, but who you behave like. Then the algorithm surrounds you with more of the same. More of what hooks you. More of what triggers you. More of what keeps you scrolling. This creates a mental feedback loop that amplifies your fears, desires, and biases. Not because it wants you informed, but because it wants you engaged. You think you're exploring the world, but the world is shrinking to the shape of your impulses. Social media doesn't just capture your attention. It reshapes the architecture of your thoughts. But there is one more layer. The deepest and most manipulative level of all. You've seen the invisible hook. You've seen the psychological architecture. Now we enter the final layer. The one almost no one recognizes. Even though they feel it every single day. This is the level where platforms stop pulling your attention and begin shaping your emotions, your habits, and your sense of time itself. This is part 3. The exploited mind, how social platforms control emotions, behavior, and time. Social media doesn't just track what you watch. It tracks how you feel. Anger, jealousy, excitement, nostalgia, loneliness, validation, fear. These emotions have patterns. Patterns your brain repeats in predictable cycles. When the algorithm learns your emotional rhythm, it begins feeding you content that pushes you deeper into it. If you're anxious, you get more tension. If you're angry, you get more outrage. If you're sad, you get melancholy. If you're insecure, you get comparison. If you're lonely, you get romantic idealization. If you're bored, you get sensory overload. Your emotions become the fuel that drives your engagement. This is the core mind trick. You think you choose the content, but the content is choosing your emotions. If you change someone's feelings, you change their behavior. Platforms know this. So they deploy psychological nudges, micro delays, that keep you waiting just long enough to anticipate a dopamine hit. Autoplay. That removes your ability to pause and decide. Endless cues. That keep options flowing, so you never consider leaving. Reaction metrics. That turn your interactions into psychological bets. Trending indicators. That tell your mind what you should care about. These are not features. They are control mechanisms. Each interaction subtly rewires your choices, making you more habitual, more dependent, and more predictable. You think you're acting freely, but your decisions are guided. One tiny nudge at a time. The most powerful trick of all isn't emotional or behavioral. It's temporal. Platforms manipulate your sense of time until minutes shrink, hours disappear, and the day dissolves faster than you can track. This is the temporal distortion effect, a phenomenon triggered by Continuous motion. Short video cycles. Rapid novelty. Loss of natural stopping cues. Emotional spikes packed into seconds. These elements place your mind into a state similar to a trance. A focused, passive awareness, where you lose the ability to judge duration. That's why you look up and say, "Where did the time go?" It didn't go anywhere. It was taken. Stolen in fragments. You never noticed disappearing. Social media addiction is not failure. It is design. Engineered attention loops. Constructed emotional cycles. Conditioned behaviors. Distorted time. Not an accident. A blueprint. The platforms don't want your happiness. They want your presence. Your energy. Your mind. Once you understand the tricks, you begin to see through them. And the spell begins to weaken.